Imagine a car so efficient that it could travel from Los Angeles to Seattle on a single charge, and still have enough power left to circle the city. Not a futuristic dream, not a concept sketch, but a machine that once existed, vanished into bankruptcy, and now has returned. This is the story of Aptera, the three-wheeled electric vehicle that promised to rewrite the rules of efficiency, disappeared, and is now rising from the ashes to challenge the giants of the EV world once again. A decade can change everything in the world of electric vehicles. New names rise, technologies evolve, and yesterday's innovations fade into memory. For many, Aptera is one of those forgotten legends, a whisper of what could have been. But those who witnessed its prototype, or were lucky enough to drive it, still remember the feeling. A sleek, aircraft-inspired body gliding silently on just 3 wheels. A car so light and aerodynamic that it could cover 160 kilometers, 100 miles, using just a few cents worth of electricity. It wasn't just another electric car. It was a statement, proof that efficiency wasn't about compromise, but possibility. Back in 2011, the dream collapsed. Despite passionate fans and groundbreaking ideas, Aptera ran out of money. The company liquidated, its founders scattered, and the EV revolution moved on without them. Tesla captured imaginations, Nissan released the Leaf, BMW launched the i3, yet none pursued efficiency quite like Aptera once did. The idea that a car could sip electricity instead of devouring it became a memory, buried beneath the race for bigger batteries and faster acceleration. But for the people who built Aptera, the dream never died. It waited quietly for the right time, the right technology, and the right team to bring it back. 10 years later, that moment has arrived. The original founders, Chris Anthony, Steve Fambro, and Michael Johnson, have reunited. They've reacquired Aptera's intellectual property and rebuilt the company from the ground up. Their goal, the same as it was a decade ago, to build the most efficient electric vehicle in the world. Only now, the numbers are even more staggering. Aptera plans to release the first electric car with a range of 1,600 kilometers, 1,000 miles, on a single charge. That's not just an upgrade. It's a revolution. It's nearly triple the range of today's best-performing commercial EVs. And they're not talking about dreams or digital renderings. They're talking about a production-ready machine. The trio's mission is simple, but radical. To prove that efficiency, not excess, is the key to sustainable transportation. They've spent the last decade mastering new tools, from computational fluid dynamics to additive manufacturing, blending aerospace precision with automotive practicality. And they're confident that this time, Aptera won't just make a statement, it'll make history. Right now, they're operating on modest seed funding, only 6 figures. And yet, their ambition is limitless. Their hope is that going public with their plans will draw in the funding needed to build prototypes and get the car back on the road. When we shut down in 2011, co-founder Chris Anthony recalled, we assumed that major automakers would take up where we left off, that they'd chase efficiency. Then he pauses. What astonishes me is that none of them did. And he's right. In the years that followed, automakers built bigger batteries, faster motors, and more luxurious EVs, but not necessarily smarter ones. Efficiency was left behind. Even the BMW i3, once hailed as a pioneer, managed only 112 to 129 kilometers of range in its early models. By comparison, Aptera's new vision dwarfs that, both in numbers and in philosophy. So what makes Aptera different? It's not just the shape, though that alone looks like something out of a sci-fi dream. Every curve, every joint, every gram is designed for one purpose: to cheat drag and reduce mass. Where most EVs fight the air, Aptera slips through it like a glider. The company claims the 60 kWh model will weigh just 800 kilograms, 1,800 pounds, about half that of a Nissan Leaf, and nearly one-third the energy consumption. For context, Tesla's Model 3 Standard Range Plus uses 250 watt-hours per mile. Aptera, less than 100 watt-hours per mile. That's not just efficient. That's redefining the limits of physics for a street-legal car. The secret lies in its structure. Instead of heavy steel or aluminum, Aptera's body is crafted from resin-infused sandwich core composites. They're light, strong, and far cheaper to produce in small volumes. The result is a car that doesn't just look aerodynamic. It truly is. The company even claims its passenger cell will be stronger than that of any other vehicle on the road today. And thanks to modern simulation tools, what once took 4 days of computation now takes just a few hours. Each design iteration becomes sharper, smarter, and more elegant, a digital evolution toward perfection. Underneath that futuristic shell lies a power system designed for both performance and sustainability. Aptera plans to use 50 kilowatt, 67 horsepower wheel motors supplied from Eastern Europe, powering all 3 wheels. With a combined output of 150 kilowatts, the car's acceleration will be limited not by power, but by tire grip. Lightweight, aerodynamic, and torque-rich, this vehicle doesn't need to roar to prove its speed. Even the cooling system is unique. Instead of the bulky radiators and pumps found in most EVs, Aptera's engineers have developed a body-integrated cooling system, using the vehicle's own surface to dissipate heat. It's still under wraps, with patents pending, but if it works as claimed, it could reshape how future EVs manage energy. After Aptera's fall, the founders went their separate ways, but never far from the world of energy. Anthony and Johnson co-founded Flux Power, developing industrial lithium-ion batteries. Fambro turned to organic farming and venture work, but the Aptera vision stayed with him. When the opportunity came to reclaim their old company's intellectual property, they didn't hesitate. And when word spread, something unexpected happened. People started coming back. Former employees, suppliers, and even early fans reached out, eager to help. Some volunteering to work for equity instead of cash, simply to be part of the rebirth. It wasn't just a company returning, it was a community reigniting. Aptera's next step is crowdfunding, a modern approach for a modern machine. Thanks to new SEC rules, small investors can now participate, opening the door for EV enthusiasts and believers in efficiency to help shape its future. The company's short-term goal: raise $2.5 million to build 3 working prototypes. The first physical proof that this comeback isn't just talk. Once they roll onto the road, the world will see what happens when design, passion, and persistence converge after a decade of silence. Aptera's story isn't just about a car, it's about unfinished business. A decade ago, the world wasn't ready for this kind of efficiency. Today, as the race for range and sustainability intensifies, maybe it finally is. Because sometimes, the most revolutionary ideas don't come from billion-dollar giants. They come from dreamers who refuse to let go. And this time, Aptera's dream just might go the distance. 1,000 miles at a time.